All right, everybody have it going?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, how's it going? Josh here. I thought I was with people, but I guess I'm not.
Oh, we have passed away. But yet we have returned. My name is Michael. How's it going? Long time.
Yeah. Earth Eagle GT, how's it going? We came back alive.
Yeah, so hopefully that's the last awkward silence the rest of the night. All right, so it is July 3rd, so I am praying to God we can do this recording without fireworks.
Impossible.
I'm just hoping someone around me and around you guys aren't. I mean, I know Michael, probably not you, but
No, that was the other day for me from Canada.
Yeah, that was Canada Day. We're America Day now, but basically, moving on for this episode of Flicks and Chill, we're kind of gonna do something a little bit different. Usually, we kind of just go over the news, new releases, stuff like that, and we're gonna do that for kind of one of the topics. But for our two topics today, the first one is going over Independence Day 2, which came out recently, as of recording this, and then the second topic we'll talk about which one we are looking forward to more, and which one we think is going to be better. Basically, it's Star Trek and Star Wars, but we're talking about the releases this year. So this is the Rogue One, Star Wars, and this is the Star Trek Beyond. I believe that's the name. Basically, it's the last movie in the Abrams kind of Star Trek universe, which I know a lot of Star Trek fans are happy about. Other ones aren't that happy about. I mean, mixed feelings. Also, the last one that Anton's in. I can't say his last name without looking at it, on paper.
Not fully.
But
it's a
young
kind of tricky
actor,
one.
young actor passed away recently. I'm sure
27, I believe.
I'm sure most of you listening to this have heard about that already. But anyways, before we get on to the rest of the podcast, just wanted to say, as always, you can hear the whole thing on SoundCloud. You will only hear up to 15 minutes on YouTube. So just keep that in mind if you're on YouTube right now and you're listening to it. So yeah, let's get into it.
Sweet.
I don't even know where to start with Independence Day 2. It's
Let it all out, fam.
It's trash, but I mean, and we'll rip it a new one, I'm sure. But so the first Independence Day was never a great movie. I mean, you put your nostalgic goggles on. It's it's very enjoyable. You love it. It's quotable, and you get a great sense of patriotism while watching it, right? But Independence Day 2 lacks a key element of what made Independence Day such a success, and that key was not DJ Khaled. That key was Will Smith.
Will Smith.
And it was Will Smith at that time too. It was when he was peaking, in regards to his charisma and his cool factor. We're talking about around the Bad Boys, first Men in Black, that kind of era was really cool vibing Will Smith, right? He was really starting to become that leading man. Everyone wanted Will Smith in their movie kind of thing. During this, it was right around there. It's right before there, I would like to say. If I'm remembering how his movies came out, at least this is right before he really started peaking. So he was kind of slept on relatively, but he was still known about. But yeah, so he wasn't in this movie, and he was one of the key factors. He was one of those key enjoyable factors in Independence Day, because a lot of those cool moments, when he's beating up that alien after they crash, stuff like that. That was Will Smith. That was all Will Smith's character.
Yeah.
That was all Will Smith's personality that he brought to the character. I don't really think that kind of character, that kind of role would have really worked. Sorry, I kind of mumbled that. I don't think it would have worked with another actor. You know what I mean?
No.
All the other actors in the movie were fine. They did their roles well. But Will Smith's role was really the one that kind of elevated the whole movie overall due to his performance. And this movie doesn't have Will Smith. I mean, I heard it's a lot because they couldn't afford him, which kind of sucks. I would have thought Will Smith, might take a little pay cut, to do Independence Day 2, considering it had the people from the first one in it, both behind the scenes and on the scenes or on camera.
But that didn't make a difference.
Yeah. I wonder what type of movie we would have gotten, because they really pushed his son in this movie, right? This character that's supposed to be his son, which I'm sure they would have not pushed if Will Smith was in it, because they'd probably have Will Smith instead. However, they push his character. They also push Liam Hemsworth's character, who I gotta say, Liam Hemsworth, to me in this movie, he came across the same way he came across in all the Hunger Games movies. I mean, he just kind of seems like he's there. To me, like he's not really like pushing any envelopes here, both performance-wise and just character-wise. I mean, nothing really new, nothing that really makes me think, oh, like this guy's really up and coming. It's more just like, oh, he's kind of plateaued at this point. I don't know how you feel, Antoine. But that's how I feel. And then the guy that plays Will Smith's son, I have nothing against him. I don't think I've seen him really in anything besides this movie, but at least the character and how he was portrayed, how he was rated, whatever have you, just wasn't that engaging to me. He made kind of a few dumb decisions. I'm not really going to go into all of them, but there is one scene, without spoiling anything, he kind of basically pushes humanity aside just for a very selfish reason, and you're just kind of taken aback at that moment. Like, you kind of understand, it in a way, but at the same time, you're like, the stakes are so high. This is kind of stupid that you're doing this right now, especially when you kind of know everything's going to be fine, even though that kind of didn't work out. But
spoiler, she took a selfie. The aliens are coming.
Yeah, but I mean, it's basically they tried getting like discount non-union Will Smith. You know what I mean? Like, they wanted his son to be just like him, but the problem was that the actor wasn't Will Smith, so he didn't really bring to that role what Will Smith brought to his role in the first movie, and because of that, I mean, I hate to say it, but the movie wasn't elevated, kind of like how Independence Day 1 was. When you ask people about the first Independence Day, what are they going to tell you? They're going to tell you about that awesome speech in the movie. They're going to tell you about the crazy ass moments, like when the guy, I can't remember his name top of my head, when he goes straight up to the mothership, so to speak, and an explosion, all that good stuff. They tell you about the hacking scene, when the alien ship gets hacked and stuff like that. They tell you about Jeff Goldblum's kind of like he's just overall. It sounds like he's improvising the whole movie half the time, but that's kind of just like his character. Like that's just kind of his like thing, and it works for him because that's just Jeff Goldblum. They're going to say that, and then they're going to talk about Will Smith and how Will Smith was just, like, basically owned the whole movie. Jeff Goldblum does Jeff Goldblum stuff again. You have another speech in this movie, but you don't really have Will Smith to bring it all together. That's really the last I'm going to mention of Will Smith in regards to this movie, just because at this point I'm just going to beat a dead horse talking about Will Smith, longer. However, I will say the ending of this movie made me so mad. Just because I'm not going to spoil anything for the sake of, like, one, I don't want to ruin it for you guys because everyone should make their own opinion on the film, obviously. And I know a lot of you guys are going to see it because this podcast is going up on Independence Day on July 4th. So I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to go see it on July 4th. Yeah. So I don't want to, like, really skew your guys' opinions too much away from the movie if you're listening to this. But I will say the ending of this movie made me want to throw... The thing I had an icy in my hand. I wanted to throw my icy at the screen. But I worked for the movie theater I was seeing it at, so I knew I'd get fired. So I didn't do it. But I gotta say, it's like they expected everyone to like the movie, not knowing that most people wouldn't like the movie. And they're just kind of going like, yeah, we'll do this now. Like, they're like, we did A, B, C, now we're going to go straight to Z. And you're kind of just like, hold up. Nobody even wanted B or C. No one definitely wants the Z. So what's like, you're just kind of left like, you're a little perplexed, and then you're just kind of mad after you realize what's going down. Especially because of how the characters are the characters are so excited about it, and they're so looking forward to it, and you're just like, are you shitting me? Like, really? Antoine, you go. You talk about it.
Okay. So just to answer your question, Independence Day 1 came out in 1996. So that was like right when the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was going off, and a year before Men in Black 1 came out, and a year after Bad Boys 1 came out. So it was at his peak of his career, like his younger career, not like his serious acting career, but like I guess like he was very popular like throughout this time. But also he was very much like growing into more popularity. But yeah, this movie is trash, and the main reason is because, well, besides like the bad directing, characters not making decisions that make sense, or just bad writing in general, just Will Smith is not there. He was the reason Independence Day 1 was even made. Like, it my concern, because like, there's no other reason I would see anyone would see the first film. Who else was in that movie that was even like would be like an attention grabber for any of the audience members?
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum, maybe.
Yeah, that's just like maybe. A baby.
Yeah, like, but it's at the same time, it killing him off screen. It's like going to Avengers 2 and saying, "Hey, Captain America died off screen, but here's Bucky," and then just like,
but here's Bucky. Take him.
Like, yeah, it's like, oh, okay.
Sorry about that. I mean, all we can afford.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just not good, and the special effects, and you can tell it's not real. I don't know why Hollywood's doing all these big blockbusters with all these CGI effects, because it doesn't, like, if it's too much going on at once, it just doesn't look real, and you can tell it's fake. You can tell that these people aren't actually in any danger. There's a specific character that is brought back from the first film, who I was 100% sure died in the first film. Because it really makes no sense why that character is back. Josh knows what I'm talking about.
So then it makes no sense.
I'm not going to even talk about that, but yeah.
Okay.
That kind of threw me off. I was like, huh.
I was 100% sure that character died. And then there was another character that pretty much died the same way. that character should have died in the first film. But I'm not even gonna bring that up.
Yeah.
I'm tired though of all these alien films where the aliens just automatically can like read your minds. I don't know why that's like becoming like a cliche now. Like,
well, I think a lot of it's because a lot of like sci-fi people like back in the day, like obviously they always want to make the aliens more advanced than the humans, right? Yeah, so like back in the day and stuff, at the time, they were like, oh, they're more advanced. Like they can travel in space. We can't travel in space yet. Like they have energy weapons. We don't have that. Like stuff like that. And like now, like we kind of have that stuff. Like the United States has like a crazy ass like battleship, basically. Like it's not an actual battleship. It's a different type of ship. But I'm just gonna call it a battleship that can literally shoot a laser. It's like basically GPS locked from like a satellite in space. Picks a target, and then basically this like cruiser thing shoots a laser. Like that's the only way I can describe it. It shoots the lasers. It's like a fucking Death Star in the water.
Drones, man, drones.
Yeah, and drones.
But why adding this? They can do all this weird like reading minds.
Oh, like, well, yeah. So
that just seems
the reason
more to
why
it.
for that, so like a lot of sci-fi writers now, they have that like the really advanced tech, is because like a lot of sci-fi people are saying, oh, in the future we'll just be able to operate our stuff like without even touching it by just thought. You know what I mean? Like it would just be like somehow integrated into like our minds.
Supreme laziness.
So like obviously if they want to make the aliens more advanced, they'd have the aliens already having that tech. So a lot of sci-fi people now just have like the aliens are just so advanced, they have like this biological technology that just automatically interfaces with them, but then it like transfers to like their like mental capabilities just being so much higher than us, so they can like do shit like that. Like,
but it just seems like a cliche though,
because
all the aliens are doing this.
I mean, shit.